Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at 5.
Breaking news just into our newsroom. Authorities in Dilworth say two men are now in jail after fleeing the scene of an accident. Dilworth police responded to a two-car crash at the intersection of Highway 10 and 34th Street North. Chief Ty Sharp says a silver Impala was heading west and ran a red light, striking a pickup from the side. He says two men inside the car jumped out of the vehicle and tried to run but were caught. The police chief says both men initially denied being involved. The driver later admitted to driving without insurance. One woman is still in the hospital after a brutal attack in Moorhead last week that forced her to jump off the roof of an apartment complex. The man police say started it all, 18-year-old Ashton, is now behind bars, charged with second-degree attempted murder and 3 counts of assault. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley dug into the newly filed court documents today, and she joins us live from where it all started. Bailey?
Yeah, Andrea, Moorhead police say that they were called just after 7:15 last Thursday night. I'm here at the 1900 block of 18th Avenue South. That's just a few blocks south of MSUM's main campus. And police say that they were called here because a lot of the tenants in this apartment complex were calling to say that there was some sort of disturbance happening and to say that they watched a woman jump from the very top of that apartment roof to the bottom here on the ground. Now, court documents say that the two women involved are dating and say that they were involved in some sort of verbal argument with Bella Fuel when he grabbed a screwdriver nearby and stabbed one of the women both in the eye and the head with that screwdriver. Now, that other woman was so concerned for her girlfriend's safety, she went to her purse, grabbed a broken knife that she had, but she says that Bella Fuel immediately snatched it out of her hand and then cut her throat and stabbed her in the eye. Now, that woman is the one that was forced to jump off of the roof as a way to try to get to safety. Police say that she's now undergone 2 major surgeries since Thursday night as a way to try and treat those major injuries. Now, that other woman was able to flee on foot, but police say that she is also still dealing with major injuries as well. I've been able to talk with some of the neighbors here as they've been coming home from the workday, and lots of them have told me that while they did see a large police presence, that's not really uncommon for this area, and say they certainly didn't know that 2 women were stabbed, and they certainly didn't know that a woman had to jump off of the roof. We'll continue to keep you updated. I'll continue to talk with neighbors as they come home here. For now, reporting live in Moorhead, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
All right. Thanks, Bailey. Documents state Bella Fuel refused to give a statement to officers. If convicted, he could face more than 50 years in prison. A man is facing charges after police say he crashed into another car while his blood alcohol level was more than 3 times the legal limit. It happened a little before 8:30 this morning. Fargo police were called to the crash at 43.5 Street and 13th Avenue South. They say 39-year-old Kelly Stowe rear-ended another car and that his blood alcohol level was .273. The driver of the other vehicle was evaluated on scene but did not go to the hospital. Stowe was arrested for DUI, driving under suspension, and not having insurance. The Hubbard County Sheriff's Office wants you to be on the lookout for a 21-foot ice castle fish house that was stolen outside Park Rapids city limits. It's a Lake of the Woods edition, and it was stolen within the last 2 days. Here's the phone number of the Hubbard County Sheriff's Office if you have any information: 218-732-3331. We've got some changes coming in the forecast, and that could affect anyone who needs to travel later tonight. Let's get more from Hutch in your First Alert forecast. Hey, Hutch.
Hey, Andrea. Beautiful evening out there, a little on the breezy side for many of us, and temperatures are all over the place. Clouds building out in the west, and those are going to bring some changes overnight. And by morning, some of us will have potentially some icy conditions to drive through. Temperatures holding at freezing or above to the lower left-hand side of the screen. But the temperatures are in the 20s in central Minnesota. Gusty winds to 30 miles per hour persist in parts of eastern North Dakota, particularly around Jamestown. Here's your planner this evening. Nearly steady to slowly rising temperatures. Winds still breezy all evening long, with clouds on the increase. Look at that gorgeous setting sun in Grand Forks. Temperatures rising into the low 30s by bedtime tonight. Now, here's a hint. As we start our day after midnight, we see a mixed bag of tricks working its way through the valley, and ice could be on the roads for some, snow for others. I'll have hour-by-hour details on how long this sticks around, and we'll look beyond that as we head towards Thanksgiving a little later this week, here in just a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch. In Bemidji tonight, police need help finding a stolen vehicle. It's a silver 2010 Buick Enclave. It has a Leech Lake license plate that says Lovely. If you've seen this vehicle, please call the number on your screen, 218-333-9111. A grease fire in West Fargo injured one person and caused $15,000 in damages. Saturday morning, the West Fargo Fire Department was called to the 3100 block of 7th Street East. Authorities say someone was cooking and started a grease fire. When they tried to take the hot pan off the stove, the fire spread. The sprinklers went off and put out the flames. One person was treated for minor burns. We have a follow-up on a fire in Fargo. Authorities are now confirming what neighbors told us the day it happened, that the massive blaze was caused by a cigarette that wasn't put out properly. The fire started on a third-floor balcony at 137 Prairie Wood Drive on November 5th, then spread into the apartment building and attic space. No one was hurt. Damage is estimated at $590,000. Over in Clay County, the state fire marshal has been called in to investigate a house fire that happened last night in rural Glendon. Fire crews were sent to 2007 170th Street North just after 10. They knocked out the flames within a few minutes, then spent the night watching for hot spots that might flare up. One person inside got out safely and was not hurt. One man is recovering after authorities say his pickup hit a ditch and vaulted over an embankment. The crash happened, the crash report says it happened around 7 last night on County Road 16 and Highway 71 near Monaga. Authorities say 52-year-old Brian Carlson didn't stop at the stop sign, causing his vehicle to hit the ditch, fly in the air, and land back on the road. Officials tell us alcohol was involved. Even before families get together for the holidays, we're seeing a surge in coronavirus numbers. Over the past 3 days, the U.S. reported more than 517,000 new cases. That puts the total since the start of the pandemic above the 12 million people mark. South Dakota has had more deaths per capita last week than any other state. David Begnaud has our story from Sioux Falls.
South Dakotans do not want to be told what to do, especially when it comes to wearing a mask. Just ask the mayor of Sioux Falls, Paul Tinhaken.
This is cowboy country, man, and you try and tell someone to do something, and they want to do the opposite as a result.
The mayor resisted a mask mandate for months, but the city finally passed one, and over the weekend it took effect. But there is no penalty for those who refuse to wear one.
We're at a bar without a mask.
Most people we saw in the downtown area of bars and restaurants were not.
Sioux Falls is putting in a restriction on themselves, but South Dakota in general doesn't care at all whether or not there's a mask mandate or any restrictions to help COVID at all.
22-year-old Nicole Noshel was about to enter a bar when she agreed to speak with us and admitted.
Honestly, I am an RN on a COVID unit.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you are an RN.
Yeah.
You work in a COVID unit.
Right.
Nobody gets it better than you.
Right.
And here you are coming to party without a mask.
I've had it, but that doesn't mean that, I do care about other people and, their health as well.
For the record, the two women decided not to go into the bar after our interview. Even the leader of Sanford Health, the largest health system in the Dakotas, has given people reason to question whether there is a crisis here.
It's hard for me to say we are at a crisis. That would be misleading from a clinical standpoint.
But CEO Kelby Krabenhoff isn't a doctor. His chief medical officer, Dr. Allison Suttle, is.
Would you classify what is happening here in the Dakotas as a crisis?
I would.
One expert in South Dakota says the state has the highest hospitalizations per capita in the country.
Do you believe that the governor of South Dakota should put a mask mandate in place?
I do believe that the governor should put a mask mandate in place, that would help us in our attempt to fight this virus.
The governor has vowed not to. South Dakotans preach personal responsibility.
When it comes to how we pass this infection, I think that we need to step up and say that this is not the police or law enforcement's problem, this is ours.
And every maskless person we spoke to seemed to not only know better, but they vowed to do better.
I came out of a bar where no one's wearing masks, but I believe in wearing masks. And I'm not wearing one, so I feel like a giant piece of crap for not wearing one.
In South Dakota, the governor was quoted recently as saying, "I'm not going to stop you or even discourage you from thanking God and spending time together this Thanksgiving." South Dakota has an average of 48 flu deaths per year. They've had 42 new COVID-related deaths just within the last 24 hours. An annual Thanksgiving tradition is taking place in the nation's capital. Meat, corn, and cob making their national debut today. The two turkeys hail from Iowa and are set to receive a pardon by President Trump tomorrow. Tonight, they're living it up at the Willard Hotel, posing for the cameras in all their feathery glory ahead of their big day. The turkeys were raised by a sixth-generation Iowa farmer. A social media campaign will determine which one becomes the official 2020 National Thanksgiving Turkey. And Macy's is unveiling the new balloons and floats that are appearing in the 94th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The giant balloons joining the lineup this year include the Baby Boss and Red Titan from the YouTube channel Ryan's World. This year, the balloons will take flight without the traditional 80 to 100 handlers. Instead, specially rigged anchor vehicles will be used to reduce possible COVID-19 exposure.
I think the biggest thing that we're going to be looking at this year is ensuring that we reduce our crowd size, whether that's actually internally in the parade itself, and then we're going to be really blocking off the areas to make sure that we're producing a show for television. So there won't be any audience, there won't be people lining the streets.
You can watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade Thursday at 9 a.m. on KVLY. It's the week of giving thanks, so United Way and Bremer Bank have teamed up to help 90 families across Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo transition out of homelessness. They're packing and distributing kits filled with household essentials like plates, cups, utensils, paper towels, toilet paper, and more. Organizers say on any given night in the FM area, more than 1,000 people experience homelessness, and 23% of them are children.
And with the week of Thanksgiving, it's just good timing. It's a week of being grateful for a lot of different things. And with the pandemic going on, any little piece can make a difference.
To learn how you can get involved, download our VNL News app and click on this story. And you can also get involved with our virtual food drive, helping local families in need. All you have to do is download our free VNL News app, look for the virtual food drive, and then click to donate. Up next, shoppers want the deals that come with Black Friday, but this year their nerves might get the best of them.
Northern Minnesota saw temperatures reach the mid-20s today, while it was in the mid-40s down near the South Dakota border. A gorgeous sunset captured here by our Valley Sky Cam. We have changes on the way. I'll tell you what these clouds are going to do overnight coming up right after this.